What's this live about? Hey, don't be distracting me, TikTok. I'm down here on the other major social media platforms. Little sneak peek of the podcast that's coming up Friday. Hi, everybody. My name's Justin. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok at least until about 6:30. So I'm trying not to get bananaed on multiple platforms. TikTok, sorry, you guys are up there this evening. Um, Everybody else, how you doing? So I want to encourage everybody over on TikTok to get on over to YouTube. That is going to be the best place to check the podcast out. Jester, feel free to critique everything that's going on tonight. So hello TikTok land, hello YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. How are you guys doing? Let me get some chats up here so I can see what's going on. Let's show them. All right. All right, now some of you commented. If you want to leave some more comments, those will pop up now, and we can say hello, Christine. Good to see you. And remember, if you're trying to hide your name on TikTok, YouTube and Facebook may actually tell who he is. So, Christine and Sandy and Kristen, how's it sound out there, everybody? So, everybody up in TikTok, hey, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, TikTok's right up here on another camera. Everybody in TikTok land, if you go to the link in my profile, and click on YouTube and podcast, y'all hear children screaming? Yep. And click on that. It'll take you right to my YouTube page. You can subscribe, and you should also be able to see us live on YouTube. So you don't see me on Facebook. It's going to be on the Safe Prep page. Safe Prep or Safe Prep Survival on Facebook. I can promise you that it is there. Marcy, how are you doing? So let me tell everybody what's going to happen tonight. Everybody in TikTok, I'm going to be with you on TikTok till 6:30. You got until 6:30 to get over YouTube. That's the best place to find us, guys. That's where the podcast will be at. If eventually I'm able to upload the podcast live to TikTok, I will be able to do that. But it's a bunch of technical stuff I'm not good at. So let's see here. Let's throw Marcy's comment up here. Look there. Marcy may not want everybody to know who she is. I'm gonna tell Kristen don't care. Where's Kristen at? There we go. So what we're gonna do is at 6:30, I'm gonna end TikTok, and hopefully by that time everybody will be over here to the other platforms, and then I'm gonna give you guys a sneak peek of the podcast. Some of you have seen some of the clips on social media so far, but put together another little compilation for you, and trying to keep up with comments. I'm live on TikTok until 6:30, but I'm not really paying attention to TikTok because I'm trying to get those lovely TikTok folks over to the other social media platforms. So tonight's not really a podcast. The podcast will be this coming Friday. It will go up on all of the accounts with the exception of TikTok. See, TikTok people probably get mad up here because they can't. I ain't paying attention to them. It'll go up at 7 o'clock this Friday night, 7 o'clock Central. It's already loaded and ready to go, and it'll drop at 7. And also Friday night, and we won't. I don't think I'm going to do this every podcast, but since it's the first one, we are going to go live, live on everything again at 6 o'clock on Friday night. And then we'll get off right at 7 when the podcast drops, and you guys will be able to see it. I can't even, the camera for TikTok's up so high, I can't even read the comments. Hang on, TikTok. Hang on. All right, cool beans. So, yeah, if you're on TikTok, you can't find the podcast on TikTok. The podcast is going to be on YouTube. That is the easiest place for you guys to find it. But we should be on Facebook and Twitch as well. We may end up going to some other platforms later, but this is an audio-visual podcast. You see people, you hear people, which I think is pretty cool. So let me get back into the comments here over on my platforms. I'm listening to hey, Minnie Haven, good to see you. I'm listening. Oh, by the way, speaking of Minnie Haven, how's everybody feeling that was at prepper camp? I know Jester's ill. I think Rapture Prep is ill. I know Meg is on the hill. Anybody else? Just like being in person, right? I can't believe y'all still on TikTok. Now I'm ending TikTok at 6:30. 6:30. and we're doing everything over here on the Tubes of You. So if you want to see and participate, be sure you get over to YouTube, because that's where the podcast is going to be at. Safe Prep Preparedness, link in my profile, and then click on YouTube and podcast, and you'll see it. I got too much stuff in my way. So, yeah. Cooties are leaving the body. Good deal. Make sure them cooties is gone before the next week. Roseanne says, I'm not the, oh, I know who that is. Ain't the boss of me. Sorry, I got a cord in my way. Move cord. So, yeah, a lot of you guys know that I had a previous podcast that didn't end so well. So, we're going to try this format a little. It's called The Safe Prep Show. And my goal right now is to only do a couple of shows a month, because I have a tendency to overdo things. And people, Jester. So we're gonna do y'all hear y'all can hear everything with this mic. I'm not real happy with my mic situation. I'm probably going to end up with a Shure mic, and you hear traffic going by, I'm sure. So I mean, welcome to the podcast. The podcast is actually recorded, guys. It's me. Hey fam, how are y'all? Good to see everybody. Be sure you tell all your friends, tell all your TikTok peoples about the show. I'll tell you guys a little bit about who is our first guest on the podcast. His name is Eric. He'll be joining us Friday. He is a medical anthropologist, and he has a master's in medical anthropology. He is working on his PhD, Dr. Prepper, down in Florida. So he is in Tampa. So he's doing some hurricane preps, and you guys need to be sure to go check him out even before the podcast at Eric_the_green. And the main reason I'm having him on the show is he's an expert in trying to keep cool without air conditioning. And so that's kind of what we talk about. We dive into some climate change discussion. We dive into a top 10 of tips of things you can do to stay cool, and a whole bunch of other things. I asked him if he's a prepper, because not everybody that's going to be on the show is going to be a prepper, but I guarantee whoever I have on the show is going to help you guys as preppers. So he'll be here with us Friday, and the show is about 1 hour long, and it's less of a show on my part, guys. It's I'm asking questions and listening and learning just like y'all are. So don't expect me to take my shirt off and dance like I do on TikTok. So, but I'm looking forward to it. Let me tell you who some of the other guests are going to be. And maybe later I can pull my phone up and actually screen share and show you their accounts. Have I checked on him today? Are you talking about Dooms? Dooms left a comment on your video, Minnie. He said he was still kicking. I think that's what he said. Oh, have I checked? No, have I checked on Eric? No, I need to. Well, I don't want to bug him. We're not best buddies. He was just a podcast guest. So I'm hoping some of his folks come over and enjoy the show on Friday. Me and him had a great time together. I can tell you guys right now that I'm probably not going to be completely aligned politically with everybody that I have on the show, but I don't care. I'm pretty sure me and him don't line up on a few things, but and we both know that. We just know that from watching each other's content. But I'm telling you what, this guy's got a sense of humor. He is smart. He's a good teacher, and he knows a lot about a subject that a lot of us struggle with, especially my folks in Texas specifically. I'll tell you the whole reason I wanted Eric to be the guest on the podcast. And if you're on TikTok, be sure you're over on YouTube by 6:30. I'm ending this out on TikTok at 6:30. We'll be on here till 7. So if you guys come on over to YouTube or whatever other platform I'm on, you can leave me comments and I can actually see them. So I'm going to respond to you. Take Kristen's comment off. I'm not a big podcast. I don't have a producer. I don't have a producer that can do all this stuff for me. So where's Kristen's comment at? Anyways, I need a co-host. My wife may come up here in a little while. Well, Kristen just going to stay up there, I guess, darling. So back when I had a Patreon account, right before we ended Patreon, we had about 42 patrons in it, and that's a lot for a brand new patron creator. There we go. I kind of asked everybody that was in my Patreon, what do you guys need help with? because you're paying for content now. You're paying for the help. What do you need? And two people specifically, and I remember it was Minnie Haven and Kristen in Texas, wanted to know how to stay cool because it's hot. It's hot. And several months later, Eric came across my FYP, y'all, and I was like, man, he's perfect. And even like months before I really started working on the podcast, I knew that I wanted to hook up with him and get him in to help us. So it's been a long process. I actually sent him I commented in a few, I sent him messages and didn't get a response. I think I left him a few comments in his videos, didn't get a response. So I just had to tag him in a video on TikTok, and sure enough, he sent me an email. So uh, I'm glad he was my first guest. It's his first ever podcast. He just recently moved to Florida, and he's going to be down in Florida for about 3 years working on his PhD, and then he'll be a doctor when it's all over with. So um, I'm excited about it. We talked a few weeks ago on TikTok. TikTok, get over on YouTube. Dooms, why ain't you on YouTube? You of all people, you getting everybody sick over there on TikTok. Jester did not feel good yesterday at all. He didn't look good either. And boy, that was a short podcast, wasn't it? That was a short podcast. If you guys don't know who I'm talking about, Jester over this Doomsday Podcast on TikTok at It's Doomsday Podcast 2.0 and 3.0. You might see a little It's Doomsday Podcast cameo in my own podcast. Wouldn't that be something? Um, and a lot of the tips that he gives are pretty simple, but man, we talked about a lot, and it's mostly the Eric show. And I've tried to add stuff. The thing I like about having a visual podcast is as these people tell stories, I can go do a little research and I can throw up graphics and pictures and things that you won't get in a podcast you're listening to. So it's a little bit more of it's a little bit more work for me, but I enjoy even though it takes forever, I enjoy the editing and making it as perfect as I can. I'm a little OCD, except when it comes to maintaining healthy friendships and relationships and social media. Um, but I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. So I think y'all will enjoy it. And the way that it's going to work is it will be a debut on YouTube. So we'll go live at 6 o'clock and we'll just chat like we're doing now. And I kind of want to get into Friday at 6 on what I hope to accomplish with the podcast and what you guys can expect. And then at 7 o'clock, the podcast will drop. It'll be a premiere on YouTube at 7 o'clock. So everybody will be watching it for the first time. And then also I've got it set to upload at, I think, about 7:05 to Facebook and Twitch. So it'll be in both places. And it'll be kind of a new experience for me watching it done that way as well. We actually recorded the podcast Friday. We recorded it Friday, and it honestly went so well. You better be there, or you can watch it whenever. That's the cool thing. If you can't make it to the if you can't make it to the debuts and the premieres, when the podcast goes up to these platforms, it stays there. It stays there. It doesn't go anywhere. So if you can't make it, or if you've got somebody else's show that you need to catch, or if you get busy doing something in the middle of it, you can pause it and come back and pick right up where you left. So I'm just trying to make a little bit bigger deal out of it for this first podcast to get some people over, and I will need everybody's help spreading the word, and probably a little different format than we're used to in our circle. Not because I don't like that format, but just because it is video, and mine's definitely less of a commentary and more of an interview kind of a deal. So I'm looking forward to having these other people that are experts in areas that we're not, in all of these subcategories of preparedness, and letting them teach us some things, because I'm hearing it from them while we're recording it, and then you guys get to hear the same thing I heard. So we're all learning together. And I'm super excited about it. So there'll be some kinks to work out, I'm sure, but everybody was pretty stern about wanting me to be sure that I recorded the podcast, and that's probably what we're going to do. I'm sure we'll throw some live shows in there as well. But for me and these other creators, I think it's just going to be a lot easier to. We got 11 more minutes on TikTok, guys. So if you're not on YouTube, if you want to see a sneak peek of the podcast, get over to YouTube by 6:30 because that's when we're going to roll the tape. And that should be interesting too because I'm still figuring out this platform. Let me talk briefly about the other guest that I have said yes to the show, and we're a little further along with some of them. But Eric's going to be our first guest. Hey, Gina, how are you? Good to see you. And if no matter what platform you're on, if you're on your YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch, your comments will eventually make it into the platform here. Um, so Eric's going to be our first guest. That'll be Friday. And then more than a lot. So we've got Amanda Kratzer. It's at Amanda Kratzer on TikTok. Sorry, trying to keep up with comments. At Amanda Kratzer on TikTok. She is a former Marine. She is married. They have 3 children and a German Shepherd. And 3 years ago, they sold their home and all their belongings and started RVing full time and truck. How bad's that sound on y'all's end? Studio's upstairs, guys. So there'll be crying kids and people knocking on the door here probably. They're in Florida as well right now. She's been doing updates on her account. So if you want to kind of follow along with what's going on in Florida and what Amanda's doing, they're in I think they've got they got a bed and breakfast thing. They're staying somewhere that's like solid, and trying to stock up on food and propane and stuff, and kind of they're trying to basically stay away from the spin up tornadoes and stuff. But it's at Amanda Kratzer, Kratzer on TikTok. I found her in my FYP probably before she got to 1,000 followers, and I knew her account would blow, and she's at 22,000 right now. So what she does is she does a lot of RV content. She does how she makes money on the road. She's had success on TikTok, and now she's got her own podcast as well. And we stitched and duetted some videos between our 2 accounts on TikTok early on. So I told people to follow her, and she freaked out because she's a prepper, and apparently I was one of her favorite creators. So we have a mutual like of each other. She is absolutely hilarious. Like, y'all think I'm over the top. She's entertaining. But former Marine, she's a prepper. She's used to living with less because they live in an RV. Okay. Yes, at Amanda Kratzer on TikTok. Minnie, you're so awesome. Her husband is also a former Marine, and he is a scuba instructor. I think he's also a CPR instructor. So when I'm curious, I want to have her on the show to go over a whole bunch of things. How prepping changed for her from when she had a house to while they're in the RV. Ways that she saves money on the road traveling like they do because they travel a lot. Ways that they've got 3 kids. They've got a dog. How her military experience and her husband's military experience shape their view of what's going on in the world and their preparedness situation. And she's just fun as all get out. So I'm really looking forward to having her. At 411 Outdoors LLC. At 411 Outdoors LLC on TikTok. His name is Daniel, and we've stitched and duetted a few of his videos as well. I say that he is our TikTok. You got 7 minutes to get over to YouTube. Y'all hear me squeaking. He is our bow and arrow. He is our slingshot. He is our kniff throwing. He is our self-defense guy. And that's kind of where I send people to. But there are so many more levels to this guy. He is just a stand-up, nice guy. Super strong morals. a tremendous amount of faith in his God. And I told him it may take 2 shows to get through all the levels that he's got. So me and him are working on getting together. And then a few others that I haven't quite got in too deep with yet, as far as back and forth with him. But a lot of you guys know at Ard's Homestead, on TikTok. He is a prepper, although he says he's new to prepping. I don't care. He is a beekeeper and he's a homesteader. And he also has a great sense of humor and he's a really good content creator. And I think he's at, I can't remember how many followers he's got now, but it's a lot. He's going to come on. I think one of the coolest stories he's going to have to tell, and a lot of you remember when we kind of discussed diabetes and insulin post SHTF or post big disaster, when refrigeration and electricity were going to be an issue. Ards has actually done some testing. He has one of the best systems I've ever seen. And we've got a lot of very experienced and knowledgeable diabetic preppers in our group. One of those is Mini Haven down here. But we had a lot of people reaching out to me via email when we were going over the diabetic stuff. And yeah, he is a type 1 diabetic, absolutely. I had a lot of people reaching out to me, and because I was telling people in videos, reach out to me, and I'll put you in touch with. And I named them the Sugars, and my Sugars was Ard's Homestead and Mini Haven, and because Mini Haven, I'm telling you guys, has read every book, article, you name it, on something that will replace insulin or making your insulin go further and those types of things. So I just referred people to them and I'd give them their email and they took care of people too. So I really appreciate Ards and Mini Haven doing that. But I'm looking forward to having Ards. He's got a sense of humor. Be sure you're checking him out on TikTok at Ards Homestead. Who else? I'm going to have Scott. Y'all know Scott from Prepper Talk Radio. Scott's been in the podcast business for a while. Scott also does what I do. He's a preparedness consultant and coach. Scott has got more experience than I do. He's done this longer. Scott has also put on some very big preparedness expos. Scott.Prepper Talk Radio is his TikTok handle. So you guys be sure you check him out if you haven't already. But I'm looking forward to having Scott on specifically to talk about what we do to help people kind of outside of social media when it gets into the coaching and consulting and stuff like that. A lot of you might have participated in the Ready Summit. That's Scott's thing. The Ready Summit, which is kind of an online college of preparedness that is kind of ongoing, and we're obviously going to talk about that. But Scott's done a lot in his life, and I want to talk to him not only as a prepper, but kind of as a business owner. So that's the conversation I'm looking forward to having with Scott. Do we like donuts? Do we like donuts? Has got about 144,000 followers on TikTok. TikTok, you've got 3 minutes to get to YouTube. I can't believe they're still up there. How many have I got up there? Way too many. Get over to YouTube, y'all. You go to the link in my profile. Click on YouTube and podcast. It takes you directly to my YouTube page. You'll find me there, guys. Go ahead and hit subscribe. That's where the podcast will be Friday night. Dewey is, me and Dewey are still getting to know each other. Dewey is a homesteader and a prepper. Very calm guy. Very, very good demeanor. And really has a lot to share. And I think the angle I'm going to go with Dewey with is the homesteading angle, and trying to hopefully tell people, even if you don't have a lot of property and a lot of acreage, how you can start to homestead on your property. Because homesteading doesn't mean you got 27,000 acres out in the country. You can homestead on your own property, gardening and chickens and quails and a whole bunch of other stuff. So that's the conversation I'm looking forward to having with him. And I've also got to reach out and I really want to figure out what Dewey wants to talk about. So at Dewey Like Donuts on TikTok. Who else? Forgive me. Forgive me. Forgive me. Forgive me. Forgive me. I've totally forgot who else was on the list. Eric, Amanda, Daniel, Ards, Scott, Dewey. I think that's it. That's the lineup so far. Now I have reached out to one other creator, but she's going to watch the podcast first, just to get a feel for what we do. And she was suggested by one of our followers. And I did a, guys, I did a, you got 1 minute TikTok, YouTube, get over there. Last time I'll be live on TikTok today. I did a stitch the other day of a guy, NWO Documents. I think that's his TikTok handle. He's been on my FYP for a while. Very intelligent guy. And I like the way he chooses his words. He's got 30 something thousand followers. I stitched a video of him explaining what all the misunderstanding was with September the 24th. If you guys remember, Jelly, hey, how are you? I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry I'm not paying attention to the comments. I'll here in a second. I'm thinking about talking to him, but I really don't have I stitched his video, and that video actually did very well. Like it got over 12,000 views. And it was just me saying he said he started off. I know a lot of y'all are worried about September 24th, and the video he did explains ain't nothing gonna happen because it was a misunderstanding, and the guy doing the speech misspoke. And but he really explained it well. So all I did was stitch it and say, "Hey, that guy explains it really well. He's on my FYP, which means he's got good content." Y'all heard somebody jump around downstairs. Other than he followed me after that, but other than that, I really don't know him that well. But I think he would be a good podcast guest because I think we can discuss some very, very good topics that I typically don't explore very much, at least on public platforms, because I think I can honestly have a conversation with this gentleman about NWO and conspiracies. This guy does a lot of research, and I think we can avoid bananas with him. So he looks really smart, so I'm looking forward to it. All right, TikTok. It is 6:31. I'm gonna end on TikTok. I will give you guys a couple of minutes to make it over to my YouTube account. It's Safe Prep Preparedness. The easiest way to get there is go to the link in my profile. Okay, click on that. The top tab is going to say YouTube and podcast. That takes you directly to my YouTube page, and you should see us live and be able to participate. So the podcast will be on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. It will not be on TikTok. So I'm gonna, oh Lord have mercy, I got too much stuff in the way. I'm gonna say bye to TikTok. Bye TikTok. Y'all say bye TikTok. Some of them leaving. I ain't gonna slide that. That's why we don't do live. Ain't it right? Ain't it right, Minnie? All right. Bye bye TikTok. Oh, there was still 9 people left in there. So we'll see who comes in here. So I'm excited about it. Got all 4 platforms open on my live audio is good. I'm not real happy with my mic. I'm not going to blame Jester because Jester told me to get this mic. I don't know. I put a little bit of money into this so far, and I don't want to spend too much more, but I'm not happy with the audio quality. It's good enough, but it's not professional for me. Hey, guys, if you're coming on over, I'm glad to see you. And if you guys notice stuff that is not good on y'all's end, let me know. I can tell you right now that all of the comments when we're live, all of the comments from all the platforms come in to my platform, so I can see everybody's comments from Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. It may just take them a minute to get into the system. Now, obviously, we're working with internet and servers, so sometimes there's going to be delays and hiccups and stuff like that. But the podcast for Friday is uploaded, and it's actually set as a premiere. If you go to my YouTube account, guys, it'll say premieres in 3 days, and you can actually hit a bell, and it'll notify you when it premieres, and you can watch it for the first time with everybody else. After that podcast is over, that podcast will sit there. and it'll just be a video on my YouTube account. So if you can't make it Friday, you can't make it to any of the podcasts, just go and find it, and it'll be there. It was recorded Friday. It's been edited to where I look marvelous. Um, so I'm excited. I can't decide if I like. I don't know. I got up here a while ago, and it was a little too much of that. So I put that back on, but that kind of blocks. Like I don't know, maybe I'll do the podcast like this. I should have left it alone. Lord of mercy. Lord of mercy. Lord of mercy. All right, what I'm gonna do, because I think we. That's why we do. That's why we do. That's why we record. Here, y'all talk to me in the comments while I'm trying to fix this. Why ain't you sticking? All right, let's just get rid of that. Y'all gonna have to deal with my breathing. Better picture with it up. That's a pop filter. It's supposed to take the P and a T. Give me a minute. I know that's loud and annoying. Let's take that off. Come off. I should have muted the mic before I did this. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I've put a couple of the clips out on. I gotta have my phone for this. Give me a minute. Um. So I was trying to figure out a way. I did a little video this afternoon. I'm gonna show you guys here in a minute. It's a sneak peek of the podcast, so I edited that real quick, and I was going to try to do a screen share on my computer, but it wasn't very good quality. So what I'm going to do, and hope it doesn't jack up audio, is I'm gonna join my own podcast and show you guys the video because it'll be much better quality. But it's about 4 minutes long, and it's just some clips of the podcast that you're going to see Friday. So that podcast is about an hour long, but you'll be able to pause it and leave comments below it and those types of things. I'll be probably watching the premiere. I'm not sure I can participate in comments on that. I'll have to see. Um, are y'all excited? Let me do a cosmopolitan. Leave me a one in the comments if you're excited about the podcast Friday. Cindy, don't report and block me. Don't do that, Cindy. Don't give anybody that idea. Back up the mic a little. Listen, I'm either going to be too close or too far. You ain't going to get it perfect, darling. And I'll be honest, when I'm doing this, I'll try to talk. Right now, the platform that I'm using is the same platform I used before, just because I'm familiar with it. It's Restream. Restream allows me to record podcasts and directly upload those to all my platforms. And I'm also doing my live through Restream. There's one more platform I may explore, but I don't want to be trying to learn that while I'm interviewing guests and stuff. So let's log in. I appreciate y'all being here. I'm excited about it. Part of me wants to do this a lot more and do more than 2 podcasts a month, but I don't want to overwhelm myself because I'm still doing a little bit of TikTok stuff, still doing some client work. Let's go to log in. See if this lets me in. As your dispatcher, stop eating the mic. Is this an appropriate distance? How is this? All right, it's finna get weird because I'm fixing to join. There's gonna be two of me. Can y'all handle two of safe prep? You gonna let me in? Let me in. What else sucks? Does anything suck? Does the picture suck? Does the audio suck? I won't leave this live up. It'll get taken down after this is over. I did this earlier. Y'all stop talking about reporting and blocking. Y'all making me nervous. Been enough of that going on lately. I've unblocked just about everybody. Pissed me off at one point. Even the haters can see me now. See, I hear myself breathing. It's getting on my nerves. Good. All right. I had it on when I did the original podcast, guys. I actually had my mic on another setting, which sounds a little bit different. So the podcast Friday will sound like this, and I probably need to stick with that, but I get a little more ambient room noise. I have to cut the air conditioner off up here. I think I'm going to have to invite myself. Are y'all hearing that little scratchy? I had that on the podcast the other day too, but it went away. Interesting. Give me a minute. How are y'all doing? Invite guest. Somebody's coming upstairs. This is why we don't do live podcast. Y'all hear the children? Screaming downstairs, screaming downstairs. Good if I could wake up. All right. Tell you what I'm doing. I got to send an email to myself so I can join the live on my phone. Because it won't let me do it like it did it earlier when I was practicing. I've done all this before. And hopefully it'll let me screen share. Otherwise, I have to figure something else out. Y'all might hear my stomach growl in a minute. Get back to the chats. Oh, y'all hear that? Y'all hear my stomach? There is a. Let's see if it lets me in. Join stream. There I am. See, I can edit out coughs. That's why. That's the only problem I've run into is an echo when I have my phone connected. Local video. All right, let me. All right, hey everybody, welcome to the debut episode of the Safe Prep Show. Which video caught? Because you don't just get to 20,000 followers.
I think, as best I can remember, it was the, so I have my series of how to stay cool without AC. I've published 13 videos as part of that series so far. So I think it was the third one where I talked about taking naps as a way to beat the heat that really got some traction. And then the second one that really got me some numbers was when I showed people what I do to sleep without AC. That I said that we didn't have AC in my house until I was 14. That was also the year that I picked up the Zombie Survival Guide, and I'm reading this book, and it's like, you know, besides the stuff about zombies, a lot
Everything
of
else
stuff
makes
just
sense.
makes sense. Yeah. I believe you asked me to come up with a top 10 of tips, and I'll just give them here in no particular order. Yeah, so one of the coolest things I found in India was they have these pots called matkas. They're made of unfired clay, and I'm pretty sure they mix the clay with cow dung to give it a certain consistency. But these things cool themselves just with evaporative cooling. And it's not like a refrigerator, it's not that cold, but it is definitely colder than water would be otherwise. And so there's this really amazing tradition of water giving, and and I talked a lot about this in my thesis about how this connects to the religions of the area, Hinduism, Islam, and Jainism, but also you can view it in the secular sense of like, this just makes sense for people to have water. So if you have, so people will put these matkas with water out in front of their houses or their shops or temples or whatever, and anyone can take from them. Yeah, so with climate change, it's it kind of is difficult to express it without getting into politics, because I think it's tied into a lot of things that also influence politics, like your sense of individuality, of like, is it right for people to sacrifice for the collective good? Also your perceptions of the world, of like, is the world fragile and in need of protection, or is the world durable and it's just going to keep going, and we can keep emitting stuff and keep going with that.
What y'all think? What y'all think? I'm pretty happy with it. I'm pretty happy. Come on, Mike. I'm pretty happy with it, guys. That's Eric. Eric underscore the underscore green on TikTok. Why does it sound weird? Oh, I turned my volume down on my headphones. That's why. Um. Oh, he's like the best start. But yeah. Now I can hear myself. I'm excited. That is kind of how I expect the every podcast to go. Is me asking questions and them giving answers, and the questions. And I'll explain more about this when we go live at 6 on Friday. These are people that I've found on social media that I feel like I'm already friends with. And I want you guys, even if you don't follow them, I want you to get to know them. So before we dive into the topics that help us as preppers, I let them build their story and we get to know them a little bit. How were they raised? How did their raising, or their raising, as I say, how did their raising affect what they ended up doing for a living? I talked to Eric about his childhood. We talked about how that got him to go into the Peace Corps, and then everything he learned about heat and deciding to go and actually be a scientist. So that's how the podcast will start out, is with you guys getting to know folks. And then obviously there's going to be a bunch for you to learn too. So with Eric, it's going to be ways to stay cool. Should we not have air conditioning post big disaster, post little disaster? A lot of it's simple and primitive, but he talks about the way that we can adapt to our environment. He talks about climate in a grander global sense, and we dived into the topic of climate change, because a lot of times people on our side won't even listen to an opinion on that because it's so attached to politics. So you saw us kind of briefly get into that, and we go into much more discussion on the podcast Friday. Um, but we've all got stuff to learn. So with Eric, it's going to be how to stay cool. With Amanda, it's going to be a whole bunch of stuff: how to be prepared with less, how to travel full time and make money, how she takes care of a big family and a dog on the road, her military experience, and then everybody else that's going to be a podcast guest as well. So I'm really looking forward to it. The first podcast for me could not have gone better, to be honest with you. I had me and Eric's part edited in an hour. It was that easy to edit because I'll tell you, the thing with me and Eric is we both choose our words very carefully. So we both say and a lot because we're sitting there trying to think of the best way to say something. And I edited a bunch of those out, so I look less dumb than I actually am. So I hope you guys are excited about it. So once again, the plan is going to be for I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. Probably some TikTok stuff. But Friday at 6 o'clock Central Time, we'll have a pre-show live podcast like we're doing right now. And I just want to talk about the podcast some more and tell people what I hope to accomplish with it and why I'm doing it. And there's several reasons for that. And then we'll do that for an hour, and then and y'all will be able to participate in comments and stuff. And then at 7, the actual podcast will drop at 7 o'clock. YouTube post it, and it'll be a premiere. You can see that premiere set up right now on my YouTube account, and you can actually set a little bell notification for it. The pre-show one, I'll go and do a pre-show on TikTok. And I'll do it for about 30 minutes on TikTok and try to get everybody over to YouTube. So there is supposed to be a way I can get this on YouTube, on TikTok. But so far with my TikTok, I have not been able to find the area that I need to insert the codes I need to put in. And I'm pretty good at finding that stuff out, and I have not been able to find that out yet. So we're going to do that. Now I know that Scott at Prepper Talk Radio, when he does his podcast, he basically sets his phone up in front of his computer and records the podcast. I don't think that's going to work for me. And to be honest with you, I really want people off of TikTok over here. And this is one way to do it is you're going to start seeing more content from me on YouTube. It's going to be reaching a different audience. It's going to be longer form content. I can give you guys something else during the show that you guys will be able to see down in the description and the description of the live and the description of the video will be every single one of the links that I have. On TikTok, you get that one link tree link. On YouTube, I can give you links to everything, so you don't have to go and search. So I'm looking forward to it. No drama, mostly education, not a whole lot of me. You'll probably hear me call for something every now and then, but I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the guests, and I'm kind of looking forward to a new chapter in Safe Prep and our journey to help folks get ready and prepare. So I appreciate all of y'all's support. It is really hard to get people from TikTok over here. I think our first podcast, for many reasons, will probably have a whole lot of people in it. I'm not sure all those people will be there to learn. I'm sure a lot of those people will be there just to see what's going on. That's okay. And I know we've done a lot of build up this week. We've been live every day. We're doing this today. We're going live again Friday. It won't be like that every podcast. But I really wanted people to know that the first podcast was coming out, and I'll do my best. I don't know that right now, with the way I've got guests coming in, I can be consistent and say we're going to do this every other Friday. But if you guys follow me on TikTok, you'll know when a new podcast is coming out. And if you're subscribed to me on YouTube, not only can you subscribe, but once you subscribe, you can actually hit the notification bell. And if you hit that notification bell, anytime I upload any content to YouTube, so a regular video, a short, or a podcast episode, you'll get a notification on your phone. And at least you know that I'm there, even if you don't have time to watch it. So, do you guys have any questions about the podcast Friday? I thank you guys for coming over. Just without jumping in and messing anybody else's content up, just be sure you tell all your friends on TikTok that are preppers and that are in our circle to come on over and check the podcast out. But just don't. I wouldn't say do that in lives. But the more people y'all can round up and get us, I'd like to have at least 30 there for the first podcast, and I think we'll be there. I think we'll be there. So I'm looking forward to it. Y'all bear with me while I work out a few kinks, but I'm excited too. And I hope you guys learned something, and be patient with the podcast, because I want you guys to get to know these people before they start teaching you. I want you to have a completely open mind. I want you to understand why I like them so much and why I trust them and why I think they're good to be on the podcast. And then once they have your trust, I'm going to let them teach you. So there'll be a little something for everybody. And just like our TikTok account did, I think that our podcast will probably take on a life of its own as well. And I'll talk more about this Friday, but some of the personal reasons I'm looking forward to doing a podcast is it's longer form content. I can get more information out. There are things that I can do as a business on the podcast, which you'll see Friday on the podcast. And if I can get off of TikTok a little bit and start focusing on YouTube, where I probably need to be, because one thing that I can do with podcast episodes is I can take like I showed you a while ago, I can take little bitty clips and bits and pieces of the podcast and make that into its own content and shorter form content on YouTube and the other platforms, which will grow our YouTube account, which is our goal as well. So, but we're not leaving TikTok. Just I'm not teaching as much on TikTok anymore as I am entertaining. So this is kind of how I've chosen to move forward and try to help people and try to provide a little bit of entertainment at the same time. So we'll do lives occasionally where we can talk back and forth and stuff like that and answer questions here, just kind of like we do in TikTok lives on preparedness. But I will need y'all's help to get the word out. I'm super excited. I'll probably be on TikTok tomorrow at some point. We'll be back here Friday night, 6 p.m. Central, for a live here on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch and TikTok for 30 minutes. And then at 7, the podcast goes live. And I really hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you all for your support. Be sure you give me a subscribe here on YouTube or whatever platform you're on right now. And as usual, well, I guess we'll go back to TikTok for a little while. So you guys are the best. And Safe Prep loves you. So I'm going to get off of here, and we'll see you tomorrow. And we'll see you guys Friday. No fancy ending here. I don't think I have. Do I have a fancy evening to give? Let's see. Nope, I don't think I do. No, nothing fancy. No, I don't have anything built into it. Sorry. All right, y'all just want to play? Y'all don't have to leave. Let's play. Let me show you what all I can. So the real part's over. Now we're just being dumb. Let me show you what all I can do. Let's see. Look, I got girly overlays. Look at this. Does that work? Do y'all like that? I've got, what's this one? Spaceship overlay. So if we ever do an alien episode, that'll be great. What is this? Oh, I don't want to paint, so I don't have a logo on there. I can play video clips through here. All right. Here, I'll show you how I can play an ad in this if I want to, but I just build that into it when I edit it. Y'all get the picture. And then I've got backgrounds. Let's see if I can do a background. I don't think it'll work because I'm only on myself. There we go. I can change the background, but it's weird because I'm by myself. If I had 2 people in here, it would be different. So yeah, I got all sorts of toys. I can change the logo. I can change the way that I can put my thing in the background. And then you guys will see us throw up little lower thirds that you guys will be able to see just to draw attention to things that we do as a business. Tell you about all our social media accounts. Hook Dooms up with some sales. ReadyWise entered intent at checkout for 10% off. Links to different products that I do. Then my email. And then obviously we've got tickers that we can build into the bottom too. Most of that's done live during the show or the recording. And then I'm able to build in ads and graphics and adjust audio and visual stuff when I edit. So, but the chat, I put the chat overlay up. Then everybody that makes a new comment now will be seen here. And then I can actually thank you. Say I can actually pop up comments and let you guys. I can brag on you, Kristen. Thank you. But right now, I am pretty happy with. I'm pretty happy with Restream. There is one more platform that I'm going to look at, and that is EVMux, EVMUX, and it's about the same cost. So we shall see. But when we have different guests on the show, I can move the guests around and make, like for the most of the podcast, Eric's big and I'm tiny because I'm just over here listening. And I think Garrett came up here one time. I had to like snap my fingers and give him dirty looks. So I like zoomed in on Eric where you couldn't see me snapping at my child or over here coughing. But yeah, it's a pretty cool platform. Um, Here, let me show you guys the studio. We are upstairs. We're upstairs. We're upstairs. There you are. So this is a 1080p webcam. Now my computer's got a webcam on it, but it's not high quality. So this is one that just sits on top of the computer, and that's because it gets in close enough to me. The only thing I don't like is if I'm over here touching the table, you'll see the computer move a little bit. And then let me show you here's what I see, and ignore the kids' drinks. So that is my computer, and this is how I manage everything. Y'all's comments are over here, so I see those. Chats up here at the top. Let me do this. Chats up here at the top, captions, graphics. And what's on here is basically what everybody's seeing. And then over here is where all of my guest feeds are. So that's my feed. I can turn feeds off and on and bring people in and out. I can also mute people. And it also gives me information on their audio. And then down here, these are like the different layouts that I can do when people are in. I am able to, let me see what else we got here. Captions are here, so I can build my own captions. And like if we click on that one, that's what y'all see. And then the graphics are over here. So logos, overlays, video clips, and background. This up here is showing where we are live right now, which is YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. I've got a big ring light right there. Okay. I was doing TikTok from this camera a while ago. This is my podcast mic that I don't know if I'm going to keep it or not. And then my headphones are plugged into the back of that. And then I had my pop filter. Can't decide if I'm going to use it. Sorry, getting away from the mic. There's the arm that's holding my mic, and it is attached to this is very sophisticated ladder right next to me. And then here's our background. This is actually the area that I used when I was on YouTube exclusively. That's kind of all y'all see. There's a bunch of prepping stuff on this shelf back here. There's ReadyWise and Thrive and Mylarge stuff and radios, and then I've got it's not fancy, y'all. I've got a shop light with a blue light in it over here. There's the pop filter down there. And then I've got a red light over here. So that gives us a little bit of that in the background. I can show you the chair I'm sitting in. I know y'all like this kind of. I'm just sitting in a chair that we use as this was actually the chair that was in one of my kids' rooms while they were growing up. That's the guest bathroom, and that is that's the upstairs. So, and that is the door down. That's the door that goes downstairs. So that's kind of where we're at when we do this. I've got see if we get this to stay. I've got children running around the house. Come on. I've got kids running around the house. You never know one of them is going to pop in and stay. There we go. So yeah, I may have to find a new place for that because if I jar the table too much, you can actually see the camera move, but I can't get a tripod where I want it, and I can't zoom with this 1080p webcam. Let me get these captions off of here, guys, and let me get my lower thirds off. And let me get the logo off as well. Let's go back to the chat and see what you guys are doing. You got this. Wash hands. Is that what? But that's kind of where we're. Let me get this back to. That's interesting. Turn chat over. There we go. Now I'm better. When I'm upstairs, I turn the air conditioner off, just because there's a little bit of buzz in the background. You can hear it. You can hear traffic coming by, or at least I can. I don't know if you guys can. I'll go back and watch this after. I critique myself, so I'll go back and watch this and then delete it off of YouTube. Um, Jelly, I hope to see you at the podcast. Thank you for coming over. It's so good to see you. Um, but yeah, that's kind of what we're doing. I think I pay about $41 or $43 a month for Restream. There are other podcast platforms that we can broadcast to, but I don't think any of us are familiar with those. I think YouTube's the best place for people to watch it. Um, we may eventually, it's edited as a visual podcast, but I mean, you could listen to it. So there are other platforms where we could I can separate the video and audio tracks, and we would be able to upload the podcast, just the audio portion, to another audio podcast platform. So, but for right now, haircut looks good. Yeah, somebody got mad the other night when I was cutting all my hair. It's like I do that about every 2 weeks. Actually, 2 or 3 weeks. Cut my hair, shave my beard, some eyebrows. That's another story. I'm about to get them professionally done soon. So, what you doing, Ozarks? Good to see you, man. Ozarks, I'm gonna leave this live up for a little while. If you want to go back and watch what all we did, I did a little sneak preview at about 30 minutes into it. The rest of it's just us talking. I was on TikTok for about 30 minutes, and then we just went exclusively to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So, um, I am excited to hear back from Daniel at 411llc.com, at 411 LLC. I can't talk, at 411 Outdoors LLC, and Amanda Kratzer. I think they're probably going to be my next two guests. So I'm looking forward to getting them interviewed, editing that, and getting that up, and start doing this on a pretty consistent timeline, hopefully every 2 weeks. Minnie, I love you. But you guys are great. I appreciate all your support. And even if we'll be live here Friday night at 6, podcast drops at 7. If you can't be here for it at 7, the podcast will be there after 7 for you to watch. So do me a favor and try to engage with the content. Leave me a comment, say, hey, Justin, I'm here. Good show, or flip me off with an emoji or something like that, just to know you're there and watching. I can see who's viewed it, but the engagement's what I enjoy. So I'm going to get off of here. Like I said, I'll leave this up for a little while if anybody wants to go back and watch any of it. And then I'll probably take this down since it was so informal. So we will see you guys on TikTok soon, and we'll see you back here on Friday. Safe Prep, thanks all of you for your support, and I'm looking forward to seeing y'all at the Safe Prep show.